skin grab.
Any sign of Armand Kristoff?
None that I know of. I'm not Armand Kristoff, so none that I know of. Alright, so you are now disguised as an Annabelle guard. Okay, so making sure it does in fact disguise me. Alright. Now, normally you're not allowed in the Count's quarters, but a guard is. So it kind of makes it an unfair advantage. But these are the Count's quarters, and I am legally allowed to go in there now. Now, one of the things is location, location, location. You have to worry about where you are, what you're doing there, and who you shouldn't talk to while you're in there. So, I mean, if you're talking to a guard, fine. If you're talking to the Count, fine. But if you're talking to a quest target you're not supposed to be talking to yet, and they're scripted to never meet you until that quest, like the Blind Moth Priests and the Imperial Palace, well, then you're just weird and idiotic. You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm warning you now, if you do, you're going to mess up your quest line. So be careful who you're talking to. Just mind your own business. Take what you want, because actually, since you're part of those factions, anything you take isn't a crime anymore, nor is it stealing. Especially from the Imperial Palace. Now, you could take this potato, this mug, but the minute you remove your disguise, I don't think anybody's going to attack you in here. But these are now stealing items. And they're no longer disguised as the guards that you want to be. So anyway, that is my faction armor mod. I've showed you everything. I've talked too much. So I think this will be about it for it. Thank you for watching. My name is Jeremiah Matthews. And you, please download. Please. It's worth it. The advantages are well outweigh the disadvantages. There's only a few things that I still have to work on, and then there's a million other factions I have to worry about. So this is just version 0.5. Download it on the Nexus forums, link provided in the description, and have a great time playing the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. My name is DarkForther's, aka Jeremiah Matthews, and this is part 2. And I'm going to show you the city guard differences. Alright, first, let's equip myself for the Skingrad guard faction. Alright, so we've got, of course, the armor of... Well, let's start off with why it's different at Skingrad. Because they don't wear chainmail, they wear steel. They wear steel boots, steel greaves. They have their own cuirass, their own gauntlets, and their own, obviously, shield. Which is in the shape of a crescent moon. Okay, so, anyway, that's what the Skingrad guard outfit looks like, but you're missing an important detail, so you're not disguised yet. You always have to wear the guard helmet. Whenever you're a city guard, then you have to wear their helmet. You are now disguised as Skingrad guard. If you aren't wearing the helmet, you'll get in trouble, because it's not a great disguise if your face isn't covered. Or at least your hair, anyway. Because my hair kind of distinguishes myself from the rest of the populace. It's not the regular. So I kind of like the added effect of the helmet, because it kind of just covers up who, what, and why I'm really there. So, anyway, Skingrad guards use steel, whereas the other guardsmen don't. I think since I'm going to show you that instead of going through the entire castle, and we'll go to Anvil to show you the difference between the two. Alright, so Castle Anvil. I always go to the castles because there's a lot of more restrictions for the player. He can't go everywhere in the castle even though he wants to. If you are caught trespassing, you have to pay a fine. Otherwise, you have to sneak. So it's a good place to infiltrate because there's a lot of riches there. There's a lot of good clothes. And later on, I'm going to actually use some of those clothes. I'm just going to leave the clothes in the drawers. I'm going to add items and stuff like that. And it's going to add to the infiltration effect. that you have to have a certain armor type to get into the castle to get more factions. It's just gonna be like more of a quest to find all the armor that disguises you as different factions. And this is just a beta, or an alpha rather. Um, it's a release before I'm finished with the actual. Okay, so right now I'm a skin grad guard. Now, one very cool thing I noticed is that it doesn't show up in your faction list what part guard faction you're in. And that just goes to show that to the actual character, the added realism of your character is that he's not actually part of that faction, even though he really is by script standards. He's not part of the faction. He's disguised as it. So that's one good thing. It doesn't show up in your factions list. Alright, so I'm going to take off my helmet. I'm no longer disguised as apparently an Imperial Palace Guard, an Imperial Legion. No longer part of the Anvil Guard, Breville Guard, Bruma Guard, Chadenhall, Coral, Leowen, Skingrad, and I think that's basically it. So that's gonna happen when I take off a sectioned item, such as the chainmail and the guard helmet. It'll remove me from all potential guard factions. Alright, so now I'm gonna take off my cuirass, my shield, no longer disguised as a skin grad guard. It's gonna say that for every single item I take off. Oh, whoops, I'm about to ready to drop my steel gauntlets. Sorry about that. Alright, now I'm gonna take off my greaves. Alright, good, it's still hidden. Oh, sorry, I have a naturalist mod installed, so it's not, yeah, I have to have it angled a certain way, so it's not an inappropriate video. Alright, so I'm in anvils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear my chainmail